Alright, hello YouTube, and we will spectate a game between SSP, Widderson, Mr. Buzz, and Toikan. I don't know if we'll be at the beginning of wave 1 or if I'm too late here or if the computer is too slow. But let's see how it does. First time I tried recording during a stream, so we'll see how it goes. Wave 1 just starts, so let's do for that. We do have Gate Guard start for Mr. Buzz. We do have Token with a Berserker from Widderson, and Bounty Hunter for SSP. We did receive two snails here on wave 1, one for Widderson, one for SSP, and only King Ups for Mr. Buzz and Token. So everybody receiving a 20 on 1. Who does that benefit the most? It is Mr. Buzz starting a 5 worker straight with a Gate Guard, but does he have an answer for wave 3? That is the question. He does have a quarter, not the best I would say, because the Gate Guard is not able to tank much, so you want a tank. And the only tank I see is a Bone Crusher, so probably Fire Archer? Maybe he does a Fire Archer here. Yeah, so he's doing the Widderson build. So you want your Fire Archer to tank partially, have your Gate Guard tank the rest, and then on wave 3 you do a Crusher in the split, and that allows you to have the front line you need to protect your Gate Guard. So a resend onto the Bounty Hunter player. Since he received the Snell on 1, he is able to build that tier 1 that costs 20, and so he will be able to hold. So free hold for SSP and an extra stack on the Bounty Hunter. Or is it? Wait, is that tier 1 able to hold? Wait, yeah, he should be. He's fine. Don't make me lie. Come on, hold. I calculated. Alright, so we got another send coming from Token and Mr. Buzz. 40 and a 20. So Token doing a lot of snails early game, and Mr. Buzz trying to go for a break with a lizard. But Widderson will hold any 60 with this positioning, and his luck. And no snails are coming from Mr. Buzz, only income, so respecting the fact that Widderson possibly has a answer for wave 3. And 60 cents going on to Mr. Buzz here with a snail and a lizard. That means that there's a lot more on the Gate Guard that he wants, but it should still be able to hold because the Crusher will be able to hold all of this. The damage is enough to clear all of that, and so the damage can then reach back into the Crusher and then hold. And also a hold from Token with a Devilfish in the split, and a hold as we discussed. Oh wait, he did have a snail here, so he is supposed to hold. Yes, he does hold, so very nice. And also a hold from SSP. Widderson pushing to 7, Token going to 7, so pretty much equal game right now with pretty close income for everybody. And as we see, only a 6 gold advantage on the board for SSP and Widderson. And that is mostly because of the snails on 1. The extra snail that they received, that is the 6 gold difference. And Widderson going for income, trying to keep up with the other team. We did have a question mark on Token. I'm not sure if he's going to hold, and I agree with him, because the DT in the split is enough to protect all this half of a wave from any type of damage, and then the DT survives to go onto the Berserker. Now, is it enough time? This extra walking time, is it enough to help the Berserker clear? Now attacking the DT is possibly not enough. There's a lot of chickens remaining. Yes, there is not enough damage from the Berserker, so small leak. Okay, there was some hidden chickens here, so a 58% leak. Do we have a hold from SSP? Just a little leak here. Because he added the Steed, so Steed very good to give stacks to your key piece, but not very good stat-wise if it is giving mana. So I hope it does not go for more. He does not go for more steeds, but try to protect the steed and the bounty hunters with uh, royal guards, and do have a royal guard, but goes for another steed. So still confident he will be able to hold here and next wave. Wave 6 is kind of problematic for him. And if he overprotects wave 6, he is vulnerable on wave 7. So it will be interesting to see what will happen. So sends on everybody, from everybody, shall I say. And Mr. was receiving only a dino and king up. So SSP was not confident being able to leak him. I can understand why, because he has a fire archer, a lot of good defense on that wave also. And also only income from Widderson because a lot of magic damage from Toikan. Also able to get a squatter with a split here, and that split is crucial. And a lot of time, a long wave to give a lot of mana to those bounty hunter. Steed now dying, and yes, okay, this is still a little leak for SSP. And the workers are perfectly equal, the income is perfectly equal as well. So this one will go to late game. If we go to the gold elite, so it is still in favor of Widderson and SSP, and it closed back in for Toikan, and now it's perfectly equal. So, but the game is perfectly equal. Only a one worker lead from Widderson, and an income lead for Toikan because he decided to go for brute recent, try to catch SSP off guard. Not liking the Desert Pilgrim positioning. If you have the choice, I much prefer have the Pilgrim in the middle so that you have a three-way split. Most of the wave goes onto Bounty Hunter, some into your split, and also the Tank Mercenary will go onto your Pilgrim. In that positioning, the Pilgrim is purely supportive, and I'm not sure if it is enough to hold if it is used that way. So we're gonna check on that lane. The only sense of the game was sent here. Will SSP be able to push? I'm not sure he will be. And I think with a better positioning on the Pilgrim, it would have been an easy hold. Or maybe a better hold, maybe only a one local leak. But like that, it's just not enough time for the heals to come by. And this is a 3 local leak from SSP. And so only a one worker push because he's still vulnerable next wave. He doesn't have the front line to protect this bounty hunter, nor does he have the damage to kill the wave fast enough. So the resend from Toikan is a very good possibility. Possibly having the dino. I think the dino is the play, or only going for a snail here. So not trying to leak SSP here and going for 8 with Mr. Bots. So, I mean, it can work, but they need to survive this send from both Widderson and SSP. So the undercut is attempted here. We do have the Millennium from Toikan, so this can be massive. But in the case of Mr. Buzz, what do we have? We have a Badger, but not much more. So the Brutes can do pretty good work here. So let's see how it goes. The Snail should be an easy clear for SSP. He might be able to get the KP, but first let's focus on the Sun here. We do have already reaching the Millennium here. That's not looking too good because the Mimic can shred the Millennium, and this is a massive leak from Toikan. And on Mr. Buzz side, the Brutes are still alive. The Gate Guard is dead. The DPS is dead. Only the tank remains. Now no more tanks, and yes, this is 2 Brutes to the King. With a Mimic, so a lot of gold going on Widderson and SSP, and it will be a Kingpin to protect themselves on 8 from SSP. So let's see. A resend from Widderson and SSP is not without any, is not out of the question because Toikan is not the best on 8. So income here could help them hold better. But we do have enough gold for SSP to go for the Kingpin already. So I do hope we do see that. We have the pack leader, so attempting to leak the Kingpin. So Kingpin here, higher split or protective should be uh, the play here. Alright, you need to protect this Kingpin. If you don't protect this Kingpin, then way too much damage will come on that side. So this 40 gold, yes, you are overvalued, but the damage is still need to be respected here. And Mr. Bus still saving here. What? Wait, what? Okay, okay. Now, this... Well, this is a big problem now because Mr. Buzz will not be able to recover as easily here because Toikan already spent his Methium here. So there's no more possibility of a king damage leak. And so a asynchronous sand might result into that. And there will be a full hold for SSP and bonus mana for the remaining bounty hunter. So if he wants, he can protect Widderson on 10 if 10 is coming. And the resense here that we discussed does manage to leak Toikan and Mr. Buzz. And the Centaur now on wave 9, but I think the damage is just too far gone now. I think they just gave too much gold to Widderson and SSP, and they gave a free hold from SSP on wave 8 now. Sure, they needed to send here to hold. If Toikan did not do that, it would have been a massive leak and game, possibly. But the game should be soon to follow because they are still undervalued here. Not the best on 10. Well, Toikan is, with maybe a Fatalizer. Nah, he's not reaching the Fatalizer, but still, the Berserker is still to be respected with a decent frontline that we will have with those bucklers, but no damage for 11. So if 10 is not the killing blow, 11 should be. But let's see how the sand will be managed by Widderson. He does have 2 pyros, so the goal here for Widderson is just clear the wave. That is the main goal. If he clears the wave, he'll be very happy. But his other question of is the Centaur killing everything fast enough? And so we do see the pyro doing a lot of work. A lot of the wave disappears. There was a split here that was not ideal, so he will clear most of the wave, and so he will be perfectly happy with that, ignoring the Centaur and just killing the wave with the AoE. That is a strategy with pyro, and so very well played, very well defended by Widderson. And also you will have the middle hold from SSP, despite the 120 reset here. So the large push from SSP, and I expect the same from Widderson after the income, because with the pyro is not that great on 10, but doing a full push or a large push, large enough to have a lot of Methium on 11, should be their play. The income recent from Mr. Was and Toikan trying to get as much value as possible for wave 11. I don't think it will be enough. They probably need a miracle. I mean, if you send Ghost Knight or Centaur onto Mr. Buzz, he does not have damage on that side to kill your tank sand, because most of his damage is behind. If you look at Toikan, a simple Ghost Knight delayed the damage from the Millennium. Yes, he has good frontline, but no damage to speak of. So let's see how the recent goes. Widderson did stay passive with a Growl to shift for something good on next wave. Receiving the sand here, he might go for an egg, but he's pushing, so I doubt it will be an egg play. SSP will not be able to hold here because the KP got sniped. So that is the danger of upgrading the upper one. So bonus gold going on to Toikan and Mr. Buzz. Will this be enough to hold wave 11 now? That is a good question. And honestly, they might skip 11 to go 12 after receiving that. But if they want to do that, SSP needs to have the second Kingpin. If he doesn't go for the second Kingpin on 11, then I think it's a mistake to not go 11. Because a resend could be tragic for them, because they still don't have the best unit. So they do decide to go 12. Mr. Buzz and Token do decide to save as well. Hero on SSP to uh, protect those bounty hunters and Kingpin. A Lost Chieftain. The Chieftain will be buffing this little Chain Fist because it is higher than the Kingpin. Not sure if that is exactly what he wants, but I think it's still very good to allow the split to survive a bit longer and give time to the KP to do damage. But yeah, it will be a large send for both team on wave 12, but the Kingpin player have a large advantage. The Pyro player has a large advantage as well. And a Sorcerer Pyro from Widderson means that it will be a lot of damage on wave 12. Sorcerer Bonk as well, not to be underestimated. And sure, a lot of Fortified with a Sorcerer Trinity, but the send from SSP will be too massive for Mr. Buzz to do anything with his value and his tank value as well. Because with Trinity Archer, what you need is time and split. There is not much of a split that could survive any send here from SS. Wait, what? Okay, that I believe is a huge mistake from Widderson and SSP. You are ahead. Your weakest wave is 13, and you have a lot of Mythium you're sitting on. And the enemy, yes, have a good unit for 12, but they lack the value to resist your sand here. So right now you're just accepting the fact that it's gonna be a race on 13 and making a strong win possibility on wave 12 just vanish and just risk it on a race. So that is a very risky move by them. The sends are coming from Token and Mr. Buzz. The sends will come in time for Widderson and SSP, but now it is a race because even though they have more Mythium, they saved for so long with a high worker push that they will be undervalued here by quite a large margin. Yes, you have two Kingpins here, but Kingpins are not the best units on wave 13. You don't have additional frontline to protect those Kingpins. Yes, you have a Millennium, but your frontline will just vanish to the wave. And a Millennium is not enough damage to hurt wave 13. A Doomsday is, but the Millennium is a bit lackluster. More of the gold and more of the damage comes with the upgrade. But let's see. Still a massive sense on everybody. We'll zoom out and see what happens on every lane if we can. So the 4i very good here against the Haven. We do have a Siege Ram. Siege Ram was kited into the split, so not ideal because that allows the Trinity Archer to focus only a small amount of the wave. We do have Widderson struggling to clear the wave, but it will be a hold here for SSP, or close to. Mr. Buzz leaking massively, despite having a good focus on the Trinity. We also have the leak from Toikan, and yes, this is game SSP holding, so proving me wrong that risking 13 was the play. And so yeah, overall very well played. Realizing that and respecting the Trinity Archer damage is very good, and trusting in the ability of SSP of holding with 13, despite Widderson not having the best unit for that, is very good in the end. And the Ghost Knight was just perfect here. Like combination of that, like the 4i to deal with the Haven, the Ghost Knight deal with the Doomsday, then it is still a very good combination of units, despite having Berserkers and things like that, because you buy time for the wave to deal damage to all the frontline and then reach the Doomsday before the Doomsday kills the wave. So that is a very good outcome for them. I think their biggest problem was both investing into wave 12 defense instead of one investing into 13 and the other on 12. But with a large save like that and the Mythium of SSP, a wave 12 send could have been lethal as well if Token decided to go for 13 for a wave 13 preparation, and they sent here. So was still very risky, I believe. I think wave 12 could have been lethal as well. But playing it, trusting in the ability of the Kingpin player to hold wave 13 um, was very good in the end. Uh, and yeah, so very well played by SSP and Widderson. And on that, thank you for watching me and see you next time. Yeah.